Recording, and are we broadcasting? Yes, sir, to move forward. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular board meeting of the Mississippi Achievement School District. Today is March 21st, 2024, and the time is now 5:31 p.m. The agenda is before you. The meeting is now called to order. The agenda, as the agenda is before you, the agenda is adopted as it is presented. Item number 3, approval of minutes from regular board meeting held on February 15th and the special call meeting held on February 29th, 2024. Those minutes are adopted. Number 4, that's Miss Bailey, and that's information only on the academic calendar for 2024-2025. Miss Bailey.
For academic calendar for the 24-25 school term. I would just like to briefly just display the calendar that is in the development phase. This was put out with a survey link so that everyone could review and provide feedback. And so we are still in the phase of having conversations and making decisions about our schedule. But there are very few changes that we are looking to make between now and next week to finalize our schedule. So I want to take the opportunity to share with you some of the information that we gathered in our feedback survey. So can everyone see the survey responses?
Yes, we can see it.
Wonderful. Okay, so as you can see here, the overwhelming majority of our stakeholders were pleased with starting school on August 6th. Likewise, the majority approved of the holidays as outlined. Our 80% days were approved at 95% plus. The calendar allocating sufficient time for benchmark assessments at 95%. And so I would also like to share with you some of the feedback that we got in the long answers, the written responses that stakeholders provided. Do I need to enlarge the font?
No, we can see it.
Okay. Wonderful. So I would like to start with feedback relating to the holidays, where the holidays were placed, when we were starting the school year for staff and students, 9 weeks testing and spring break. So this particular year, due to us having an extra day in the year, February 29th, that kind of shifted our days somewhat in the calendar from what we saw in this current school year and how we started. So we still have a target of beginning on August 1st. But the rest of the days in the calendar kind of fell in an awkward manner. So one thing we need to keep in mind is that our students must have a 180 day calendar year, academic year. And we also contract our teachers for 187 days. So when we make decisions to begin school later, in school earlier, we're impacting the students' academic time, they're 180 days, and we're also impacting the teachers' contractual time of 187 days. So any shifts and removing days or starting school earlier or later would impact that. And so we work with Ms. Upshaw to identify when we would begin school, when we would end. It has not been a tradition for us to, we haven't seen it traditionally that we would return after Memorial Day. But however, again, keeping in mind that extra day with February 29th and then days shifting, that would cause us to be in a situation where we would return after Memorial Day if we want to keep our holidays. So we still maintained our holiday schedule of having a fall break, 2-day fall break, full week for Thanksgiving, 2 weeks for Christmas. And so when you start adding and subtracting days, you're going to add or subtract days from your holidays. And so you want to keep that in mind. So I wanted to provide that as a rationale and an explanation around why we're starting school when we're starting school, and then why it's ending when it ends. And so any changes to that would result in fewer holiday time within our academic calendar. So we still have to maintain 180 days for students and 187 for teachers. Also, there was a question about spring break being placed where it currently is right now. And we also want to keep in mind that we want to be able to administer our benchmark assessments, collect that data, and have enough time between the beginning of the 4th term and the beginning of math assessments. So we have a short window, and we want to make sure that we limit the interruptions in that instructional window so that we can maximize time for instruction in the months of March and April for our students. So another major area that was a concern on the Humphreys County, in the Humphreys County School District, was the placement of homecoming in September. And so what I've learned myself through conversations with our executive director of operations and Coach Woolfolk, our athletic director, is that the schedule for games is set 2 years at a time. And so homecoming is not only about playing a game, but you also want to play a team that you can be victorious against. And so they look at the schedule. Everyone's laughing. You're looking at the schedule to see which team you can beat, and you want to select a game day for that. And so with the games being set 2 years at a time, we really cannot alter the schedule in a manner where we can shift the teams. And so it appears that homecoming is going to have to remain in September for this school year. And there can be actions taken for the upcoming school years to work to schedule a team that we could be victorious against in October.
And Ms. Bailey, wasn't the recommendation for the homecoming team that we would play come from the head football coach?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure that the public understands that it was not done without his recommendation, because this came directly from him, and he gave us some of the rationale, some additional rationale about the selection, about senior night, all of those things that impact how we play and when we play.
Yes. So I appreciate the feedback from our stakeholders, and we have taken that into consideration and communicated with all decision makers with regard to athletic schedules. And so that's where we are at this point with homecoming for Humphreys County. So we have an additional change that we're looking at shifting to decide when our fall break will be scheduled, or finalizing a timeline for that. And so we wanted to just share that information with you to let you know that what stage we're in, and that we have taken into consideration the feedback that you've given us in the schedule, and we wanted to make the schedule more clear. And so we're working to make those minor tweaks to the schedule and present it for approval.
And I see that one question was, why are the days for September 30th to October 4th in blue? Isn't that the week of our first 9 weeks exam? Is that
It is.
Those days?
That was the beginning of the 9 weeks period, but I just cleared that up and modified the color.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity to share our feedback, and we will definitely circulate the calendar, the final calendar that will be sent forth for approval.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bailey, for presenting this information regarding the calendar feedback from our stakeholders. And I certainly want to remind everyone that the information today in the calendar that was shared was for information only. We will have a special call board meeting next week where we will officially approve the calendar for the 2024-2025 school year. We're now moving on to discussion action item. And now we have Dr. Austin, who will come forth, and she will manage this particular item on the agenda with the Yazoo City and Humphreys County. Dr. Austin.
Good afternoon, Dr. Watkins and community stakeholders. We have our principals from Humphreys County and Yazoo City to present their March board reports. We will begin with Humphreys County with Dr. LaCourtney Landfair, who is the principal of Outer Green Elementary, followed by Ms. Janina Tanner, who is the principal of O.M. McNair Middle, followed by Mr. Samuel Matthews, who is the principal of Humphreys High, concluding with Ms. Artrice Morris, who is the director of T.C. Randall CTE.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Outer Green Elementary is a C-rated school right now. Then also we are a CSI school, which is Comprehensive School of Support. And I will talk about our data for March. Our attendance data. Our overall school enrollment is 361 students. Our student ADA is 94.16%. Our students who are chronically absent or have 2 or more absences is 11%. Our teacher attendance rate is 97%. The number of discipline referrals is 5. The number of observations for ELA with learning conditions, we had 10. With core actions, we had 10. Also, with math, our learning conditions, we had 10. And with core actions, we had 8. The balances for March remains the same. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Landfair.
You're welcome.
Ms. Tanner.
All right, good afternoon. I am presenting McNair Middle School's March data. For the month of March, our total school enrollment was 328. Our student ADA was 93.53%. of students with 2 or more absences was 10.73. Teacher attendance rate is 90%. Number of discipline referrals is 13. Number of classroom observations in ELA, 3 learning conditions and 14 core actions. Classroom observations for math, 5 learning conditions and 16 core actions. Classroom observations for science, 3 learning conditions, 12 core actions. We do not have U.S. history here. All other information remains the same.
Thank you, Ms. Tanner. Mr. Matthews.
Good morning, good evening, all stakeholders. My name is Samuel Matthews, and I'll be presenting for Humphrey County High School. Humphrey County High School is rated a B school, and I present for the month of March. Currently, we have 418 students. Our student ADA is 90.30. Number of students with 2 or more absent was 35. Teacher attendance rate was 90. Discipline referral, we did have a spike, 20. Classroom observation ELA, we had 2 learning conditions and 5 core actions. In math, 2 learning conditions and 4 core actions. In science, we had 1 learning condition and 3 core actions. In U.S. history, 1 learning conditions and 2 core actions. And our balances remain the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. Ms. Morris?
Good evening, everyone. I am reporting for Thomas C. Randall Career and Technical Center. We do not have a school identification. For the March board report, we have 137 students enrolled here at the center. Teacher attendance rate was 81.6%. We had 0 discipline referrals. Classroom observations for our HVAC, our heating, ventilation, and air conditioning program was 4. Carpentry construction was 1. 4 observations for welding, 3 observations for educator preparation, 4 observations for health science, 4 observations for diversified agriculture. And our fund balances remain the same.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. We'll continue on with our board reports for the Yazoo City Schools, beginning with Mrs. Doyle, who is the principal of McCoy Elementary School. We'll have Ms. Martin, who is the assistant principal at Woolfolk Middle School, to present for Ms. Belcher. We'll have Dean Douglas, who is the Dean of Culture and Climate at Yazoo City High School, to present for Dr. Fuller, followed by Mrs. Strong, who is the director of Larry Summers CTE. Mrs. Doyle.
Good evening, everyone. At McCoy, our total enrollment was 896. Our student ADA for the month was 92.37. There were 38% of our students had 2 or more absences. Our teacher ADA rate was 90%. There were 28 discipline referrals for observations. For ELA, there was 7 and 0 for the core actions, and those core actions observations turned into modeling and co-teaching in our ELA classrooms. Math was 6 and 18. For science, we had 0, and we do not have U.S. history. Our fund balances for the month remain the same.
Thank you, Ms. Doyle. Ms. Martin?
Good evening, Superintendent Watkins and our stakeholders. I'm going to be presenting our data for the month of March. All right, I'm going to start with our total school enrollment. Our total school enrollment is 483. Our student ADA is 91%. Percentages of students absent with 2 or more absences is 25%. Our teacher attendance rate is at 87%. Number of disciplinary referrals is 26%. Total number of classroom observations for ELA, we have 0 learning conditions and 30 core actions. For math, we have 0 learning conditions and 12 core actions. For science, we have 1 learning condition and 7 core action, and we do not have U.S. history. Our total fund remains the same.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Dean Douglas.
Good evening. For the month of March for Yazoo City High School, the total school enrollment is 560 students. Our student ADA is 492.5. The number of percentage of students with 2 or more absences is 50.52%. The number of discipline referrals for the month of March is 43. Our number of classroom observation for ELA, our learning condition, 4, our core action, 5 for ELA. For math, our learning is 4, our core action is 6. For science, our learning condition is 4, our core actions 3. And for U.S. history, we have 4 learning conditions and 4 core action. Our fund balance remained the same. That is the report for the March for Yazoo City High School.
Thank you, Dean Douglas. Mrs. Strong.
Good evening, Dr. Watkins, colleagues, and stakeholders. Summer's March board report, total school enrollment, 197, total attendance rate, 95%, total number of discipline referrals is 0, number of class observations in industrial maintenance, 3, carpentry and construction, 2, law and public safety, 3, health science, 2, education preparation, 2, and automotive technology, 3. Our fund balances remain the same. That concludes our March board report.
Thank you, Ms. Strong. Dr. Watkins, that concludes the board reports for March for both Humphreys County and Yazoo City.
Thank you, Dr. Austin, and thank you, principals and directors. We're now down to the consent agenda. Oh, and for item number 5, discussion action, the 5.1 is accepted and approved. All right, let's go to consent agenda. We'll begin with, as they are in order, and each person will present them as they are listed. 6.1 is mine, approval of the Yazoo City and Humphreys County fixed assets to be declared surplus and removed from the fixed assets report. 6.2, approval of student transfer from Yazoo City School District and Humphreys County School District to Yazoo County School District. And I believe Ms. Dobbins is reporting for Mr. Wilson at 6.3.
Good evening, Dr. Watkins and community stakeholders. I'm Nicole Dobbins. I will be doing a report in Mr. Wilson's stay. Dr. Watkins, we're seeking approval for item 6.3, Humphrey County High School out-of-state trip to Memphis for GAP students, which are growth, advanced, and proficient students. Item 6.4, approval of Scholastic Book Fair fundraiser for McCoy Elementary. Item 6.5, approval of 2025 Larry Sumner's Career Technical Education Assurances. Item 6.6, approval of 2025 Thomas C. Randall Career Technical Education Assurances. Item 6.7, approval of Thomas C. Randall CTC World's Finest Chocolate Fundraiser. Item 6.8, approval of Thomas C. Randall CTC Double Good Popcorn Fundraiser. Item 6.9, approval of O.M. McNair 7th and 8th grade spring dance fundraiser. Item 6.10, approval of Larry Sumner CTC donation fundraiser. Item 6.11, approval of Woolfolk Spring Ball fundraiser. And item 6.12, approval of trip for Larry Sumner CTC HOSA state competition.
6.13, Dr. Watkins, we are seeking your approval of to approve College Board as a sole source vendor for Yazoo City and Humphreys County, so that we can purchase advanced placement exams. In 6.14, we are seeking approval of an MOU between MASD and Vision Research for Yazoo City. And 6.15, we are seeking your approval of an MOU between MASD and Vision Research for Humphreys County. They will provide vision screenings for our kindergarten students. In 6.16, we're seeking your approval of summer professional development pay rates for staff. In 6.17, we're seeking your approval of summer pay rates for Humphreys and Yazoo City extended school year staff. In 6.18, we're seeking your approval of Yazoo City staff for summer professional development. In 6.19, we're seeking your approval of Yazoo City staff for summer learning. In 6.20, we are seeking your approval of Humphreys County staff for summer professional development. In 6.21, we're seeking your approval of Humphreys County staff, an approval for Humphreys County staff for 2024 summer learning.
Good evening, Dr. Watkins. We're asking your approval for item 6.22, the approval of the 2024-2025 teacher salary schedule. Item 6.23, we're asking your approval of personnel actions for Humphreys County and Yazoo City executed from February the 21st through March the 21st.
Good evening. Item 6.24, Dr. Watkins would ask for approval of the Simpson Air construction contract with Humphreys County School District for Thomas C. Randall and Otter Green Elementary projects. Item 6.25, we're asking for approval of the summer feeding program application for both Yazoo City and Humphreys County region. Item 6.26, we're asking for approval of the workforce development grant instructors for Yazoo City and Humphreys County regions. Item 6.27, we're asking for approval of Upchurch Services LLC HVAC contract with the Humphreys County School District for the Humphreys County High School HVAC project.
Good afternoon. 6.8, Dr. Watkins will request your approval of claims dockets for March 21st, 2024. 6.28.1 is our Humphreys County Region claims numbers 183,036 through 183,138, totaling $355,159.50. And our Yazoo City Region claims number 60469 through 60627, totaling $774,433.59.
Thank you, Ms. Upshaw. That concludes all the items on the consent agenda, and all items are approved. Item 7, Ms. Upshaw.
Dr. Watkins, we'll ask your approval of the financial statements for February 29th, 2024. We have our Humphreys County Region financial reports and our Yazoo City Region financial reports. And those reports include our statement of bank reconciliation, our statement of fund balances, our budget status report, our statement of incomes, revenues, our statement of expenditures, and our cash flow report for our district maintenance fund.
Thank you, Ms. Upshaw. Item 7 is approved. Once again, all items on our agenda for March 21st, 2024 for the regular board meeting of the Mississippi Achievement School District, all items are approved. We're now at adjournment. Item number 8, the meeting is adjourned. Everyone, I wish you a great evening. Good night.